So let's move on to version control system and Git. Okay, so version control system, it is just a, it is also a software. VCS stands for version control system. It is also a software, and uh, it helps us manage our code. Okay, so it is a component of software component configuration management. Okay, there are so many names. We can call it as revision control, we can call it as source control, source code management, etc, etc, etc. Okay, so when you're doing something big, when you're building a large application, when you're writing multiple programs, when you're building a large website or web application, you need to manage all the changes, all the work that you have done on it. So version control system helps us in doing that. Okay, okay. So when you see a version control system in action, you will obviously understand what it is. So Git is a version control system. I'm not talking about GitHub, guys. I'm talking about Git only. GitHub is something else. Okay, it is not Git. So Git is a version control system which is designed to track our changes in source code. Okay, so Git is open source. You can easily download it from git-scm.com/downloads. Okay, Git works on all platforms. It works on Linux, it works on Mac, it works on Windows. Okay, so the definition from Wikipedia is that Git is a distributed version control system. Distributed means you can use Git in a distributed manner. Okay, you can work on the same source code. More than one person can work on the same source code using Git. Okay, so the primary purpose is to track changes in the source code during software development. Okay, when you're developing things, you need to keep track. For example, today we have built our home page. So this is today's work. Then tomorrow we might do something else. So if we want to track each and every operation, each and every change that we made to our source code, we use a version control system like Git. Okay, so it can also be used as a coordinating tool for programmers. Say, for example, no big project can be developed by a single person, so we need multiple developers. So multiple developers might be working on single thing. So in that case, there need to be some kind of coordination, and Git provides that coordination among developers or programmers. Okay, for now we are not going deep. Git can do much more. Okay, so for now we are not diving deep into it. We are just trying to manage our code. Okay, manage our source code so that we can effectively uh, identify the changes, identify the workflow, the flow of development. Okay, so let us try to understand what is a Git cycle. Okay, so how Git works, simply how Git works. Okay, so first what you have to do is, remember guys, Git does not require internet to work. Okay, GitHub requires, right? uh, you can simply download and install it. You can get started with Git. Okay, you can work on your local source code projects with using Git. The source code project, when you manage it with Git, becomes a repository. Okay, if the repository is stored on your disk, on your system, it is called as local repository. If the repository is stored somewhere else, it is called as a remote or online repository. Okay, so first what you guys need to do is you have to initialize a repository. You have to create a repository. Okay, so it doesn't mean that it needs to be empty. For example, you can do the same thing for in our HTTP workshop project also. We have two HTML files and an image. Even now you can initialize that folder as a repository. So practically what you are doing here is you are making a folder, your project folder, project directory, as a repository. Okay, so first you need to label it as a repository, and then you can simply work on your code. Okay, after initializing it, you can work on it. For example, if you are a collaborator, means someone else is developing a program. For example, if you join a company and you are put into a project, now you need to continue, you need to uh, add yourself to the development, right? So for in that case, there will be a online repository already developed by someone else. You can simply clone that repository or pull that repository to your local machine, means to your system, and you can start working. Okay, there are two ways. You can start a new project, a new repository, and start working on it, or you can clone an already existing repository from online and work on it. Okay, so after completing your work on the source code, what you can do is you can obviously check what are the changes that you have made after initializing or after pulling the repository. You can add the changes to the staging area. So the uh, process is that you make changes, you make the changes, you stage the changes, and then you commit to the changes. Okay, so the second step after checking the status is you can stage the changes. Now here you are not committing to it. Committing means you're accepting that you have changed. Okay, the commit will be full and final. There will be we cannot go back from a commit. Okay, of course we can, but a commit is a commit, that's it. Okay, so before committing you need to stage those commits, and what are the changes that you are trying to make permanent. So identifying those changes are nothing but adding changes to staging area, and then after uh, staging the changes, you can simply commit the changes to repository, and you can again work on your code, and the cycle continues. After working, you can check your status, uh, add changes to staging, commit, and again work. Okay, for example, if you want to want to push your repository to an remote online repository, you can do so. So after committing the changes, you can add the remote repository. Means you need to add the URL for the remote repository to your local repository, right? And then you can push, means whatever the changes that you have committed in your machine can go back to online repository. So having an online repository uh, gives us an advantage that you can pull it from anywhere. For example, if you have done something and you have pushed it to an online repository, your friend can clone the online repository and continue work, or he can do changes to it. Okay, so after pushing it, you can again go back to your work, and the cycle repeats again. Okay, so and the another thing is you can also revert back to a commit. For example, yesterday you have done something, you have committed your code before night. Today you have started developing and you have done some errors, and now the your system, your application broke down. You want to revert to previous days uh, uh, commit, so you can do so, right? So this is the git cycle. Okay, so this is how git works. If you don't have any a GitHub account, you can simply go to github.com. You can fill in these details, sign up for GitHub. Okay, so if you guys have GitHub, then what you can do is you can simply log into your GitHub account. Okay, when you log in, this is what you see. Okay, so what you guys need to do first is you need to install Git in here, Git in your system. Okay, I'm opening up a terminal here. This is a normal command prompt or PowerShell window will work here. So Git, when I say Git, you will see some commands. Okay, so this means that you have installed Git, or you can simply type git hyphen hyphen version. So this will show you the version of Git that is installed in your system. Okay, what we need to do now is we need to move to our project folder. So our project folder, so let us say our project folder is our website, right? So currently I'm at users, so I can now move to desktop, navigate to the location where your project resides, cd our project. Okay, not find that. There is our website. Oh, sorry, our website, not our project. Our website. So inside your website, now the our website folder is like this. Let me maximize this. It's like this. This is our website, and these are our files. That's it. We want to upload these entire files to our GitHub account. So what we need to do is initialize this directory or this folder as a repository. So how do we do that? Simply git init, initialize git repository here. So you will get a message that the git repository has been initialized successfully. Now this is a git repository. Okay, now you can do whatever you want. So let us check the status. Git status. So we haven't done any commit, so everything will be shown as a change. So let us commit to those changes. So before committing, we need to add. I want to add everything, every change I want to add. So git add space dot. So git add space dot will always add everything. Okay, then git commit. So every commit must require a message. So git commit -m space in quotations your message. Git space commit space -m space in quotations the message that you want to give it as a commit message. Okay, message is mandatory when you are committing a git repository. Done. We have committed the git repository. But how do we push this to GitHub? Now whatever we have done in our local system. This does not reflect in our GitHub account. How to do that? How to do that is, the first step is that you need to create a repository in the GitHub. So create repository. There is a little plus symbol on the top right corner. When you click on it, there is a new repository option. You can click on new repository here. This will get you to a new repository page. You can create the new repository by entering the name. Okay, so this is our website, right? This name and the project name can be different. There is no it is not mandatory that both of the names are same, but here I am using the same. Okay, description, sample website for a event. Okay, so you can make either the repository public or private. If you make your repository public, it is visible to all, even anyone. Okay, when you make it as private repository, only you can see the repository, no one can see. If you make it public, anyone can come into GitHub and simply search here with the name. Okay, so and another thing is, do not initialize the repository with the readme file, right? Because we have already done some coding with the local repository. If you initialize this with the readme now, the both repositories will be different. Okay, so I'm for now simply leave it here now and click on create repository. That's it. Name, description, type. Okay, this is our website. Now you will be getting two links here. Okay, you can create a repository, you can add an existing repository. We have already created a local repository here. We are done with this. So we need to do the second option. So you can simply copy the first command and paste it in the terminal. hit enter. The first command is nothing but we are adding the link to our repository in GitHub to the local repository. And then what we are doing is we are pushing all the changes that we have committed with our local repository to our global repository. So this will ask you the username and password also. Now it is uploading. Okay, so all these files will be uploaded to our online repository. Okay, now when you refresh this page, so now when you are in code tab only, but there is no code here. But after pushing, when you refresh this page, you will see all those things. Okay, so when you're done, you can do the same. So now you can go back to your Sublime text editor, you can change a lot of things and go back to the terminal. You can add the files to staging area, commit the changes and push it back to the online repository. When you are finally done with your project, now how to publish? Go back to settings, go to settings in the GitHub project page. Okay, we are in our website settings. Go down to the GitHub pages section. Okay, now you need to go to the GitHub pages section. Now select the source as master branch. Select the source. When you click on source, it will be displayed as the options. The first option is master branch. Select the master branch. Okay, when you click on master branch, the page will be refreshed. Again, go back to the GitHub pages section, and now you will see a message that your site is ready to be published at so and so URL. Okay, so it is not yet published. It will publish. It will take time. Give it some time, and again refresh. Now you will see that the message is now in green color. Now you can copy the URL. You can paste it here and simply press enter, and done. Your site is live in internet, and that URL is your website page. Now you can access the website that I have uploaded with this URL, https colon. I'm pasting the URL in the chat box, guys. Try out. So that is the URL. When you click on the URL, you can see the entire page. Okay, so this you can do only with static sites, not with any site. If you write, even JavaScript will also execute here, but PHP will not execute. GitHub only hosts static sites. Okay, if you want, you can also give a custom domain here. For example, let us say you got a domain name like uh, our training. So our training.com, and save. Now instead of this URL, this domain name will be used. Okay, but for this you need to buy this domain. We don't have a domain, so we will simply skip it. Okay,